Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into the source material on what might be the single most powerful consumer force on the planet, Generation Z. It's great to be here. And the numbers, they really tell the story, don't they?
They really do. I mean, we are talking about a group of 2.5 billion people globally,
Yeah.
and about 400 million of those are in India alone. This is the generation that grew up completely online, and they're forcing basically every industry to rewrite the rules.
Yeah, and that's our whole mission for this deep dive, right? To sort of reconcile the central paradox of this generation.
What's the paradox?
Well, they're total digital natives, but
Yeah.
they still crave these physical, real-world experiences. They demand authenticity, but their brand loyalty can, change in an instant.
Okay, so let's start with that digital foundation. We're talking about what, 95% plus smartphone ownership? Social media is their main source for everything.
For everything, information, influence, connection.
So if they live so much of their lives online, why is the physical store still so important to them? That is the fascinating part. The data shows nearly 80% of Gen Z, both in the US and in India, actually prefer shopping in store for things like clothes.
80%, that seems completely counterintuitive.
It does, but it's driven by this desire for, a tactile experience. They want to touch and feel the product, and they want that instant gratification.
So digital is for the research, the discovery.
Exactly. It's the filter. But the physical store is the payoff. It's real, it's immediate, and it's often a social thing they do with friends.
Which explains this big shift we're seeing, right?
Yeah.
Away from mass market stuff and towards more premium, personalized experiences. The journey matters.
It matters just as much as the product, and that completely redefines what brand loyalty even means.
How so?
Well, their loyalty is based on shared values, not on how long they've used a product. Something like 72% are willing to switch brands on a dime. That's way higher than for millennials.
So they're looking for brands with a real personality.
A personality and a purpose? That's why peer recommendations and, those smaller micro-influencers work so much better than big celebrity ads. They feel more real.
And this is where things like quick commerce, AR try-ons, and these Phygital pop-ups come into play.
Mm-hmm. That seamless blend of the physical and digital world.
You see this disruption everywhere. Look at fashion.
Oh, absolutely. Younger consumers are moving away from legacy brands and towards youth-focused Indian brands like Zudio or Burnt Toast.
Because they offer uniqueness.
Exactly. It's about self-expression. They don't want to wear what everyone else is wearing. Or look at jewelry. The whole industry is changing.
Right. Less about old money formal stuff.
And more about design-led daily wear pieces. Brands like Titan's Beyond or Bluestone are pushing lab-grown diamonds hard. That speaks to Gen Z's demand for transparency and, ethical sourcing.
Which brings us to the virality economy. This is where things get really interesting.
And incredibly fast-paced. A trend can explode overnight on TikTok or Instagram and create massive demand out of nowhere.
So the product's value isn't just its utility anymore.
Not at all. It's social currency. The Stanley Cup is the perfect example.
I was just thinking that.
Their revenue went from $70 million a year to over $750 million. And it wasn't because the cup got better at keeping drinks cold.
It was because it became a fashion accessory. The pastel colors, the Instagram posts.
Exactly. Or look at the Boo Boo collectibles. That whole blind box model creates scarcity and a sense of discovery. You saw their revenue grow by a staggering 726% last year.
Cost. Wow. And that was all fueled by unboxing videos.
It was. So these limited edition drops and pop-up campaigns, they're not just marketing tricks anymore. For brands, they're essential for survival.
So the purchase is less about the item and more about buying into a piece of culture that signals who you are.
Precisely. It's all about community and co-creation. Consumption for this generation is really a quest for meaning, for authenticity, for social impact. Brands have to be part of that conversation.
And as Gen Z enters their peak earning years, this influence is only going to get stronger.
It's truly existential for every industry. Adapting isn't optional.
So here's the final thought to leave you with. If 80% of the most digitally native generation in history still prefers the physical store, what does that tell us about the future of these immersive digital experiences that we haven't even imagined yet? Something to think about.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.